Hey guys, Hosh USMC here. Of course, you're watching my channel. And if you don't know who this guy is, this is Hibernian's son. He's got his own channel. We are sitting in his command center right now. We're about a hop, skip, and a jump away from Canada up here. And we are enjoying our Ovaltine. So we thought that if you don't know who Irish is, seriously, there's going to be a link below to his channel. You got to go over there and check him out. Irish and I are pretty much, right on when it comes to talking, thinking about a lot of different stuff. One of the things that has been up in the news lately, and something that we've actually been talking about, mostly him, for a long time, is the threat from North Korea. I mean, the biggest threat that I see from North Korea is that they are playing this game for real. Then they're playing this game for keeps, and our government has not been taking them seriously. Irish, what do you think our biggest threat is from North Korea right now?
Well, as an asymmetrical threat, right? They're going to find ways to attack us through our strength. As I've often said, our reliance on technology is our biggest weakness. There's ample evidence out there that is at least suggestive of the fact that North Korea has developed a type of nuclear bomb that produces or maximizes the EMP effect. The Russians initially developed this weapon during the Cold War as a way to soften up the battlefield prior to launching a ground invasion. Right?
And this is in light of three most likely nuclear explosions that have been set off in Korea underground as testing, and this last one was just as big or bigger than all the other ones that they've done. And I mean, people will say, yeah, but there's no delivery system, and even if there is, which now there is, or at least they've been working on miniaturization and delivery systems, and they say, well, there's no threat from Korea invading us, which, I mean, they don't necessarily even need to invade us to attack us. And if we're pushed back into that Stone Age, which we would be very easily, then we could be facing a slow invasion. And I don't mean not necessarily by North Korea, or they could just sit back and laugh and watch us tear ourselves apart.
Yeah, once we were in the throes of dealing with an EMP attack that has been effective, the front door is open. I've talked about this before. A nuclear arsenal that is here in the continental United States, that's open for an attempt to be taken. There's so many. It's a treasure house, and the front door is wide open. So to think that after an EMP event, I don't necessarily think that it would be a full-scale invasion that could be on tap to seize key facilities, infrastructure. But certainly, lightning fast strikes against key targets to seize equipment and gear, that's certainly likely. If the American continent is attacked by an EMP weapon, any number of bad things can happen at that point. So
that's true. And it's still a threat that needs to be accomplished. Whether they're planning invasion or not, or whatever, is absolutely irrelevant. The fact of the matter is that this is not something that's being seriously considered. If you're not, and if you are not as well, then you need to start looking into these things. Korea has, for very many years, been planning on fighting America against America's defensive systems, and so this is something that they've been planning for a very long time, and they are angry and kind of it's a repressed country. What is it called? Propaganda machine there is incredible, and there's millions and millions of people there that are dying and starving, and they're ready to lash out. So I don't know, maybe their end game might just be to try to retake South Korea, which would be a huge mistake. But you never know.
That's just it. For doesn't matter for why, but I was getting up to speed for North Korea's capabilities. And one thing that becomes readily apparent when you actually read what they are saying, they mean to make total war in defense of North Korea. They don't intend to keep it a regional conflict. They intend to bring the fight to the United States wherever they can. And even a cursory examination of what they have to say will show that. And if anybody doubts their resolve, there was that reconnaissance element that was snaffled up on the DMZ. This was near term, within a few years, I think. But instead of capitulating and surrendering, they chose to have the team leader execute every member of that team, and then he committed suicide. So to deny South Korea or the American forces the opportunity to capture and interrogate them. So they are not. That's what the Masad. That's what that's named after, right? Mount Masada, and the defense of Mount Masada against the Romans, and that's what the Hebrews did, right? They killed themselves instead of allowing the Romans to take them.
But they don't necessarily have the industrial background to back up an army like a Japanese type of
right. But the fanaticism.
Empire. But the fanaticism,
right?
Is what I'm talking
and
about.
And it's interesting to listen to sociologists examine North Korean culture. When North Koreans are expatriated or somehow wind up in the West, they are very, very childlike and combative, and so that prompted some examination of the culture there. And they have this like the dear leader thing going on, where the leadership in North Korea is seen as like the father, like Chris Rock said, Obama is our daddy. No, he is not, right? But in North Korea, that is the way they see it. And if dear leader says step off, they will step off. So yeah, that fanaticism is absolutely like the Japanese.
Yeah, just like I was telling Irish earlier, this fella that was in a Japanese prisoner of war camp. Once they dropped the bombs and Japan surrendered, he walked out and they were a defeated people. The emperor told them, "We're done," and they were done. And that's the same type of thing. Is that same sort of fanaticism is there for these people to do whatever is asked of them, and that's scary.
Yeah. Well, and I would encourage you guys again. I always try and get you guys to look at stuff. So do your own research. Take a look at what North Korea saying it intends to do. Don't poo-poo that and say, oh, they can't do X, Y, or Z. The scariest type of EMP attack would be from freighters with scuds off of the coast of the United States, right? Because forensically, there's no way for us to track where the attack came from, right? That leaves us no ability to reciprocate. There is no MAD in that case, right? There's no mutually assured destruction. That may be something that they're smart enough to play on, right? So that they can open up that battlefield in the Korean Peninsula. I think in any future war, I don't think combat with the United States is anybody's objective. We are in the way of a lot of different countries' geopolitical objectives. We have got, we don't rightfully hold that position anymore, economically anyway.
And if we were busy patching ourselves back together, then the whole world's going to turn over and go crazy.
Just imagine a world where, the United States goes dark, right? Every single military unit, American military unit in the world, is going to try and disengage from where they are and get back here. They're going to have to, right? There's going to be no word what's going on here. What little information does come out is going to obviously be bad, right? People are going to be dying. So they're going to want to get here. And that leaves the whole world's security situation topsy-turvy. The second ID in Korea, in South Korea, if that disengages from there, and we talked about the military presence in Hawaii, the command and control that's there. The worst case would be an EMT or an EMP attack, because it really does.
EMT attack would be scary too.
Right.
Bandages and
stay away
scalpels.
from the light. So anyway, yeah.